Do you ever get scolded by your parents for always being on your phone? Do you ever get scolded because of spending too much time on it even in the toilet? Or do you constantly feel the urge to check on your phone for notifications? If so, then you might have to consider yourself a nomophobic.
No.
Good morning, Miss Annie, Mr. Yudi, parents, and my fellow friends. I'm Emily Tjendra, and today I will cover this topic about the social impacts of nomophobia. Most of you might not be familiar with the term nomophobia, but I believe that many of you for sure knows what phone addiction is, right? Especially parents. Well, nomophobia is actually something just like that. Nomophobia, an abbreviation for no mobile phone phobia, is a condition when people feel uneasy being separated from their phones. In easy words, it's the fears of having no phones around. In most cases, people who suffer this disorder usually tend to show these behaviors, such as always having their phones on at all times, frequently checking their phones for notifications, and even bringing their phones everywhere with them. Nomophobia is mainly a problem rising in the recent years due to the advancement in technology, especially among adolescents. Although the presence of mobile phones have brought us many conveniences in life, it has also shown similar drawbacks, such as the negative effects on social life. A study conducted by Harvard University found out that notifications from text messages, likes are often have the potential to satisfy social stimulations and dopamine flood, though not as addictive as cocaine. Due to this, many chose to replace their face-to-face communications with mobile phones. Pew Research study even conducted a research that found that 57% of teenagers use their phones just to pass time and avoid awkwardness. What happens to someone who socializes less is that 1. Their communication skills to express their thoughts and feelings will eventually deteriorate. 2. After you lose all your confidence in communicating, you will start to develop the fears of interacting with other people. And lastly, eventually you will find yourself avoiding all sorts of human interactions, which is what people like to call as social isolation. Parents, of course you wouldn't want your children to be like this, right? This is why I've conducted this research to establish to what extent does this nomophobia has impact one's social life. I want to raise awareness of the dangers of nomophobia, especially towards adolescents who, based on statistics, have the highest demographic. Thus, I want to provide an alternative solution regarding this topic. In this research, my hypothesis is that there is a strong correlation between nomophobia and the detrimental effects on adolescents' social life. I assume that people with high levels of nomophobia would have a less satisfaction in social life. So first, let us look at the theories. There are two theories that are related to this problem, which are attachment theory by John Bowlby and ringxiety. Attachment theory refers to the interpersonal relationships or emotional bonds that are usually developed towards people, things, or any circumstances. John Bowlby, who first discovered this theory, wanted to find out why kids tend to feel fear, worry, or anxiousness when being separated from their caretakers. And from his investigation, he discovered that humans often develop attachment to something to provide a sense of security. This also works for cell phones. For instance, young girls likely feel more safer and more protected having their phones nearby at night. Or patients who also feel the same way as they can directly call someone in case of emergencies. Other reasons to why people get attached to the cell phone is that it's provided features like the personalization or customization. It is found that it's not actually the devices people get attached to, but instead it's the services it offers that gives people attachment. Next is the ring-anxiety theory. As mobile phones are pocket-sized, it is made to be easy access. In addition to easy access, applications in mobile phones are designed in a way to keep you on at all times. With all those reasons, it's not easy to avoid constant checking behaviors. Some people might even find themselves checking for notifications even when there isn't one. This syndrome is called ring anxiety. Basically, people start hallucinating or hearing vibration or buzzing noises coming out from their phones when there isn't one actually. So after looking at the theories, we shall start proving my hypothesis analytically. Methods for data collection requires quantitative and qualitative research. Quantitative is done through Google Forms, and 60 respondents were collected in the age group of 12 to 24 years. While qualitative research is conducted through interviews with 2 experts. Here are some findings of the data collected. Majority of the respondents reported to have experienced a decline in face-to-face communication and social interaction to some extent as a result of excessive phone use. And also nearly half of the respondents also claimed to sometimes use their phones as a way to cope the feelings of social discomfort or awkwardness. And from the interview, the expert highlighted that the people who suffer from nomophobia aren't able to form in-depth or meaningful connections with others because their main focuses are always on their phones, making them concentrate less in conversations, which might lead to misunderstandings and conflicts. After losing their real-life relationships, adolescents will try to escape from the reality and form online relationships instead. So these data prove that my hypothesis is right and therefore can be accepted. There is indeed a positive correlation between nomophobia and adolescents' social life, and that nomophobia does negatively impact the social life of adolescents. So after knowing all these facts, what can we do to minimize the damaging impacts of nomophobia? Here are some of the solutions recommended by experts, including the respondents. First is what individuals must do. Be aware of the time you spend on your phone. Although you have all the free will to do anything and whatever with your phone, you must always set boundaries of when to use your phone and when to put it away. And this also applies for applications. You must know which applications are beneficial for you and which are not. As long as they're a need, it's fine to use that application. However, if it's just for leisure purposes, it's better just keep it off or maybe set a timer so you can spend less time on it. And cutting back the phone usage by reducing the screen time is also recommended. In summary, you just have to have self-control and management. For parents and guardians, we recommend you to actively participate in education educating your child about the responsible technology use. Discuss with them how it's clearly impossible to avoid the development of technology. So it's okay to use a phone, but you must always be clear on the purposes of what your phone usage is. And that concludes my speech. Thank you and God bless you.